Welcome to Star Exposed. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa have always seemed unshakable, the kind of couple whose laughter could brighten any room, whose partnership looked effortless, and whose love story felt timeless. But behind their beautiful smiles and years of strength, a heartbreaking truth has recently emerged. For years, fans adored Mark, not just as an actor, but as a devoted husband and father. Yet now, he is facing one of the toughest battles of his life, a private war against cancer. The news hit his family like a storm, leaving Kelly shattered in ways she had never imagined. On her morning show, the ever-cheerful Kelly Ripa, the woman who could make millions smile, could not hold back her tears. Viewers saw something rare. Not the polished host, but a wife whose world had suddenly changed. What began as quiet concern in their home turned into a moment that shook their entire family to its core. It started with small signs. Mark had been unusually tired, brushing off a stubborn cough and bouts of fatigue. Kelly's intuition whispered that something wasn't right. Even though he was still the strong, charming man everyone saw on television, behind the scenes, his energy was fading. Eventually, the truth came crashing down, a doctor's visit that changed everything. Cancer. That single word carries weight far beyond its sound. It's not just a diagnosis, it's an earthquake that tears through your world. Kelly later admitted that she could barely breathe when the doctor spoke. She looked at Mark, the man she had loved her entire adult life, and felt an overwhelming fear that she might lose him. But Mark, ever the fighter, took her hand and whispered, "We'll get through this together." In that moment, Kelly's heartbreak turned into determination. Still, the pain didn't disappear. When she returned to her morning show a few days later, she tried to stay composed. Yet, as the cameras rolled, emotion overtook her. She confessed that her family was going through something difficult. Though she didn't reveal details, the rawness in her voice said everything. Millions of viewers saw themselves in her, a wife, a mother, a woman doing her best to hold it together while her world was falling apart. At home, things grew harder. Their children, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, were faced with news no child should ever hear. Together, Mark and Kelly sat them down, tears falling freely, and told them the truth. They promised to face it as a family, united, honest, and unbreakable. Behind the scenes, Kelly became the pillar that held everyone up. She cried quietly at night so her kids wouldn't see her fear. During the day, she smiled, encouraged, and stayed strong, because that's what mothers do. Then came the night everything almost fell apart. Mark's condition worsened suddenly, and he was rushed to the ICU. Kelly described the scene as chaos, flashing lights, rushing doctors, and the deafening sound of machines. She sat alone in a hospital chair, praying harder than she had ever had before, begging for a miracle. And somehow that miracle came. After endless hours of uncertainty, the doctors delivered a glimmer of hope. Mark had made it through the night. The battle wasn't over, but he was still fighting. Kelly held his hand and whispered, "I'm not letting you go." From that moment on, hope became their anchor. Mark's recovery was slow and grueling. Chemotherapy sessions replaced red carpet events, and their once busy household became a space of quiet determination. The counters filled with medicine bottles, schedules revolved around hospital visits, and Kelly learned to find joy in the smallest victories. A smile, a walk in the garden, a moment of laughter. The man who once filled rooms with energy now struggled to climb stairs. Yet even in his weakest moments, his spirit refused to break. He would squeeze Kelly's hand and joke softly, reminding her that he was still there. Still him. For Kelly, it meant living two lives. By day, she put on makeup, smiled for the cameras, and brightened millions of mornings. But when the lights went off, she raced home to sit by Mark's side. The world saw her as the same radiant Kelly Ripa, but her eyes carried a new depth, a quiet resilience forged through love and pain. And something remarkable happened. Her vulnerability didn't make her weaker, it made her more real. Fans from around the world sent messages of love, strength, and empathy. People who had faced their own battles saw themselves in her story. At home, their children became her teammates in this journey. Michael took on responsibilities beyond his years, helping organize treatments and errands. Lola became her father's confidant, offering warmth and laughter that lifted his spirits. And the youngest, Joaquin, became the family's spark, his optimism a reminder that light still existed, even in the darkest moments. One quiet evening, Kelly sat in the living room with her family. Mark rested in his chair under a warm blanket. The kids sat close, the TV humming softly in the background. There were no cameras, no fame, no fear, just love. In that stillness, Kelly realized that while cancer had changed their lives, it had not taken their bond. If anything, it made them stronger. Mark and Kelly's story is not just about illness, it's about endurance, family, and the kind of love that survives the storm. And as they continue to face the future, one thing is clear: their love is their greatest strength. To anyone listening who's facing their own battle, remember, you are not alone. Hold on to hope. Hold on to love, because sometimes, even in the darkest night, it's love that lights the way forward. Thanks for watching Star Exposed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.